The message from the future. One quiet night, John sat in his small dorm room, gazing at the pile of papers and books that had accumulated on his desk. John was a third-year engineering student, known among his friends for his love of exploration and solving puzzles. That night, he decided to take a break after hours of intense studying. While browsing his email, he noticed a new message titled, "Warning from the Future." With growing curiosity, John opened the message to find a strange text. "I am John from the future. Within a week, you will face a danger that threatens your life or the life of someone you love. You must uncover the events and change their course to avoid the disaster. The beginning lies in the old physics book." John shuddered at the ominous words. At first, he thought it was just a prank from one of his friends. But something inside him made him take the message seriously. He searched his bookshelf for the old physics book mentioned in the text. After a few minutes of searching, he found it. As he flipped through its pages, he noticed an old paper hidden among the sheets. The paper contained a complex code. John sat down with intense focus, trying to decipher the code. Using his knowledge of mathematics and cryptography, he finally succeeded in extracting a short message. "The key is in the old watch." John remembered the old watch his grandfather had given him before he passed away. It was an antique pocket watch, adorned with intricate engravings. He carefully opened the watch to find a small piece of paper inside, bearing the coordinates of a location. After some online research, he discovered that the coordinates pointed to an abandoned library on the outskirts of the city. John decided to go to the library the next day. He arrived at the site and felt a strange sensation fill his heart, as if time had stopped in this place. He entered the library cautiously, exploring the shelves filled with old books and thick dust. In a dark corner, he found a book titled "Secrets of Time." The book contained mysterious texts and illustrations pointing to advanced technology he didn't fully understand. While browsing the book, he sensed movement behind him. He turned to find an elderly man with calm features staring at him. The man said quietly, "You have finally arrived, John. I have been waiting for you." John felt a mix of astonishment and fear. How did this man know his name? He responded hesitantly, "Who are you, and how do you know me?" The man smiled and said, "I am the one who sent the message from the future. My name is Michael, and I worked with your grandfather on a secret project aimed at communicating with the future. But things got complicated, and we found that there is a danger threatening your life." Michael began to explain the details of the project and revealed that there was a secret organization seeking to exploit advanced technology for their sinister goals. He informed John that his grandfather had discovered their plans and decided to hide the evidence in various locations to protect it. John realized that he was now in the middle of an adventure larger than he had imagined. He agreed to collaborate with Michael to uncover more evidence and thwart the secret organization's plans. The two began searching the places indicated by his grandfather's old papers. The challenges grew more difficult, and the dangers pursued them at every step. One night, as they were closing in on the truth about the organization, they were attacked by its members. John and Michael managed to escape with difficulty, but they realized that time was running out, and they needed a well-crafted plan to expose and stop the organization. John and Michael decided to head to another city, where his grandfather had left additional clues in a large library. Upon arrival, they found the library closed under a mysterious government order. After many inquiries, they discovered that the organization had a hand in closing the library to hide the evidence. They sneaked into the library at night, and after a long search, they found old documents containing drawings and research on a time machine. As they studied the documents, they heard noises outside. The organization's members had tracked them. John and Michael had to escape through a secret tunnel beneath the library, which they discovered thanks to old maps left by his grandfather. After a perilous journey through the dark tunnel, they emerged to a safe place. They headed to a secret laboratory that his grandfather used for his experiments. There, they began building a miniature version of the time machine they had discovered the plans for. The goal of this machine was to send an encrypted message to the past to warn John of the impending danger. After days of hard work, they succeeded in building the machine and activating it. John sent a detailed message to himself in the past, explaining everything he had discovered and urging him to be cautious. Suddenly, the machine began to radiate a strong light, and John and Michael found themselves being pulled into a time portal. They were transported to the future, to a time where the organization had complete control over technology and society. There, they discovered that the organization's leader was a former scientist who had worked with their grandfather but had defected and founded the organization to fulfill his personal ambitions. They met with future resistance fighters opposing the organization and began organizing a joint plan to overthrow it. John and Michael used their knowledge of history and technology to guide the resistance in a series of daring operations. During this time, they discovered a traitor within the resistance who was relaying information to the organization. After a fierce confrontation, the traitor was captured and his identity revealed. He was one of the scientists who had worked with their grandfather but had succumbed to the organization's pressures. Thanks to the information obtained from the traitor, they managed to infiltrate the organization's main headquarters and disrupt their communication network. In the end, they succeeded in overthrowing the organization's leader and dismantling its infrastructure. John and Michael returned to their own time using the time machine, carrying with them advanced technology and hope for a better future. Upon their return, John used this technology to help humanity, founding a research institute aimed at developing time technology in safe and sustainable ways. In the decisive moment, as they were preparing to execute their plan, John received a new message from the future, this time signed with his own name. John, if you are reading this message, it means you have succeeded in saving the situation. But remember, there are always those who seek to exploit knowledge. Be sure to protect the secrets of time and always remain vigilant. John smiled, feeling proud of what he had achieved and the adventure he had undertaken. He knew the future was full of challenges, but he was ready to face them, confident in his strength and ability to make a difference.